Okay, this is part 4 of our renewing in the way that we receive Holy Communion, taking advantage of the fact that we are renewing reception of Holy Communion in the chalice or the precious blood of our Lord, or receiving our blood under the form of wine. So, this is something that you may have seen people do, and you wonder, well, gosh, we don't do that anymore. Why are they doing that? Some people like to receive on the tongue, which is a perfectly valid way to receive communion. Um, and again, it's an act of humility. There's really nothing. It's very humbling when you can't feed yourself. You have a broken arm or something, and someone else has to feed you. It's a great sign of humility, being fed versus taking food yourself, feeding yourself. So that's part of why we would receive on the tongue. Just some simple renewal things. Again, it might feel like you're second grader thinking about these things, but as adults, things that we do need to think about, um, especially if you're wanting to say, well, that sounds like a humble way to receive communion. I'd like to do that, but I feel really goofy. So some small tips to help that to be maybe a little more natural for you. Um, it's very, very simple. Just open your mouth and get your tongue over the bottom of your lip. That simple. There's no need to give the extraordinary minister or the priest you're receiving from um, all of your tongue. That's not a necessary part of receiving on the tongue, even though it can be humiliating. But the whole point is being humble more than being humiliated. So sometimes too, out of shyness, it's very common that people will want to receive on the tongue and they don't open up and get their tongue out at all. So you do need to get it over the bottom of your lip. Get your tongue out above the bottom of your lip so that the minister doesn't have to toss Jesus into your mouth, but can actually place him on your tongue. So neither one extreme nor the other extreme. Um, Sometimes too, the slot, literally a slot that you receive, or some people are attempting to receive our Lord from the tongue, is not very large. So yes, do open your mouth. Um, and that's sufficient. So hopefully that helps, and you can even practice if you'd like to. But it is a form that is perfectly valid and um, a beautiful way to receive our Lord with great humility, and something that we practiced for centuries. So um, if you happen to be an extraordinary minister of the Eucharist and someone does want to receive on the tongue, then there's nothing stopping them from doing so. That's something that is a very beautiful form, very beautiful way to show our Lord the humility and the love of wanting to receive Him in that way. Um, it does help if you're receiving on the tongue not to move, so that it's not a moving target. I know there's lots of details in this little part of receiving on the tongue, but I think it helps us all to sometimes pay attention even to the details, so that we can do so with the intentionality that we're looking for. That this is just an act of humility, and I want to do so in a way that doesn't cause any more difficulty to anyone than what would be necessary. So hopefully that helps as well. The last thing I see a lot of from those who receive on the tongue is they'll get their teeth into it. Of course, you're going to receive the Lord, but if you open your mouth and in the way that we've described, the you can bring the host back into your mouth without using your teeth, and so that's also, I think, a way just to do so with humility, with simplicity, with love, um, not worrying that the host will fall off your tongue. But if um, I know this is a lot of detail, but this is the simple ways in which we can renew um, these practices, so that all of those who are involved, whether someone new to the practice of receiving on the tongue, or the minister perhaps is new to extraordinary minister, to place the host on your tongue, and so that all of those things can go together, and Be helpful. God bless you. I know it's a lot, but hopefully this is all part of renewing our interior approach to receiving our Lord in the great and tremendous sacrament of the Eucharist.